My ex cheated, had a kid with someone else, and now wants me to play dad. Her friends harass me online, and her lawyer's pushing for child support for a kid that's not mine. Hello Reddit eyes plus here. So, my ex, Natalie, and I were married for 7 years. We met in college. Classic story, right? She was this fiery, ambitious woman, the kind who could light up a room, and I was this quiet, nerdy guy. I thought we had it all. The house, the plans for kids, the happily ever after. But apparently, while I was out working late nights and putting in hours to build us a future, she was busy having a little side adventure. And who was the other guy? Damian. Yeah, her coworker. A guy who looked like he walked out of a cologne ad and probably thought he was God's gift to women. I'll never forget the day I found out. It was one of those gut punch moments you see in movies. I came home early from a work trip, surprise, only to find a text pop up on her phone. Damian's name. And let me tell you, the words in that message weren't about spreadsheets or office gossip. Anyway, long story short, she admitted everything. And to really twist the knife, she told me she was pregnant, and guess what? Not mine. Damian's. I filed for divorce faster than you could say prenup. For 3 years, I lived my life, doing my thing. Therapy helped me work through the betrayal, and I was actually starting to feel like myself again. And then, out of the blue, my phone rings. It's Natalie. Now, I don't know about you, but when your ex calls after 3 years, it's never good. And I was right. She starts off all teary, saying Damian left her, and she's struggling to raise their son. She goes, "Alex, I need your help." At this point, I'm stunned. Help? What kind of help does she think I'm going to give her? She says her son, her and Damian's son, needs a father figure. And since I was once her husband, I should step up and be there for him. I just sat there, speechless. Like, what kind of logic is that? I told her as calmly as I could, "Natalie, he's not my kid. He's Damian's. Why don't you ask him to step up?" Then she drops the bombshell. Damian's gone, like gone. Skipped town, left her high and dry. And now, in her twisted mind, I'm supposed to swoop in and save the day? But wait, it gets worse. A few days later, I wake up to find my social media flooded. Messages, comments, tags, all from her friends. They're calling me every name in the book. Heartless, a coward, less of a man. One of them even said I wasn't real husband material for abandoning my responsibilities. I wanted to scream, "What responsibilities? That kid isn't mine." But I didn't engage. I just blocked and moved on, or so I thought. A couple of days after that circus, I get another call. This time, it's from a lawyer. Natalie's lawyer. They're calling to discuss child support arrangements. I laugh, actually laugh, and say, "Is this a joke?" But no, they're dead serious. Apparently, in some twisted interpretation of the law, Natalie thinks she can make a case that I have a moral obligation to support her kid because we were married at the time she got pregnant. I was floored. I told the lawyer, "You can't be serious. You do realize I'm not the father, right? Like, DNA test not the father?" They said something about exploring all options and hung up. And I'm sitting there thinking, this can't be real life. Am I on some hidden camera show? I decided I had to deal with this head on. I called Natalie, and I let her have it, not yelling, but firm. I told her I wasn't going to be guilt-tripped into fixing her mess. I said, "Look, I didn't cheat. I didn't get you pregnant. I don't owe you or your kid anything." She cried, of course, tried to play the victim, but I didn't budge. I blocked her number after that. Even now, I still get random messages here and there. Someone will find me on a new platform, or a mutual acquaintance will bring it up. But you know what? I'm done. I'm not playing hero in someone else's soap opera. So, after I blocked Natalie and her lawyer stopped calling, I thought I was finally in the clear. I mean, what else could she possibly throw at me? Well, I underestimated her creativity, or her desperation. One day, I'm grabbing coffee at my usual spot, minding my own business, when I hear someone say my name. I turn around, and there she is, Natalie, holding her kid, in the middle of the cafe. She walks right up to me, all eyes on us, and says loud enough for the entire place to hear, "Alex, we need to talk. Please don't walk away from your son." Y'all, my jaw hit the floor. The room goes dead silent. People are staring at me like I'm some deadbeat dad who ran out on his kid. And I'm standing there, speechless, trying to process what just happened. I finally managed to say, "Natalie, this is not my kid, and you know it." But she keeps going, talking about how family steps up and a real man takes responsibility. At this point, I've had it. I look around the cafe, take a deep breath, and say as clearly as I can, this woman cheated on me with another man. That kid is not mine. And I owe her nothing. The crowd looks confused, some people look sympathetic, and Natalie storms out, crying. And me? I just grab my coffee and leave. Fast forward a few weeks, and I get a letter in the mail. Yep, Natalie actually filed a lawsuit for child support. Can you believe that? I thought it was a joke at first, but nope, it was real. Apparently, in some states, there are laws where a spouse could be held financially responsible for a child born during the marriage, even if they're not the biological parent. It didn't matter that I had proof the kid wasn't mine. She was banking on a technicality. My lawyer assured me it was a long shot, but still, I had to go through the process. We did a paternity test to put the nail in the coffin, and the results, obviously, came back proving I wasn't the father. But even after that, her lawyer tried to argue that I had an emotional bond with the child and should pay in the child's best interest. An emotional bond? I hadn't seen that kid since the day he was born. The court date finally comes, and Natalie's there, looking all sad and pitiful, like she's auditioning for an Oscar. She talks about how hard it's been raising her son alone, and how Alex is the only stable figure in her life. When it was my turn, I laid it all out. The cheating, the lies, the harassment, and I looked the judge in the eye and said, I feel for her son. He didn't ask for this situation, but I am not his father, and it's not my responsibility to clean up Natalie's mess. The judge sided with me. Case dismissed. You'd think that'd be the end, but no. Natalie's friends kept trying to drag my name through the mud online. I'd get tagged in posts about how I was a monster or a failure as a man. Some of my mutuals even started questioning me like, are you sure you're telling the whole story? Eventually, I made a public post. I didn't want to, but I had to set the record straight. I explained everything, no details spared. I even attached a copy of the paternity results. That shut most people up, but a few diehards kept at it. At the end of the day, though, I've learned to let it roll off my back. People will believe what they want to believe. Now here's the kicker. About a month ago, I got a message from Damian. Yeah, that Damian. Turns out, Natalie tracked him down and tried to pin the kid on him again. He said he didn't want anything to do with her or the kid, and wanted me to know he was sorry for everything that happened. I didn't reply. What was there to say? So, here I am. Free of Natalie, free of her drama, and officially free of any responsibility for a kid that's not mine. If there's one thing I've learned from all this, it's this. Some people will do anything to avoid facing the consequences of their actions. But me, I'm done being anyone's scapegoat. I'm finally living my life on my terms. And if Natalie or anyone else tries to pull me back into that mess, let's just say they'll be hitting a brick wall, and that's it. That's my story. Wild, huh?